Friends, hello everyone. Thank you for checking out Bitcoin Adept. Today, we will talk about the price of Bitcoin and a scenario where things might not go as planned. I mean, the scenario with altcoins, since everything is fine with Bitcoin, Bitcoin is moving towards our set goals. I'll remind you of them a little bit. But with altcoins, the situation is completely different because now every person, every investor, you could say a novice, all of us, have become more prepared now. There's a lot of information on YouTube. Everyone talks about when to buy, when to sell, when it's alt season, when there will be a shift from Bitcoin. And it feels like everyone is waiting for this moment. Everyone is ready. Everyone is smart. But then who will fund this whole feast? In short, we'll discuss this scenario today, and I'll also be giving away $1,000 to those who join me. So here we have the chart. For Bitcoin, the 8-hour chart, you can see there was quite a significant drop. From yesterday until now, we have a minus of 7.5%. And the current price is 89,600. And our targets for Bitcoin, or rather mine, which I outlined in my previous videos, are such that if we extend the level Fibonacci, the Fibonacci extension from this long reaccumulation from the bottom to the maximum ARC, local values where Bitcoin reached then to the level. According to Fibonacci, we have not yet reached, and it is approximately at the level of plus minus those levels. Now I will show what this range means. Because if we take the previous accumulation zone from it, we stretch these Fibonacci levels, then hitting the next correction, where Bitcoin came to the local maximum values, after which it fell. And here you see it fell to the 0.382 level and a little below. So this range needs to be kept in mind. That is, the Fibonacci level was 39,300, you could say, but the price dropped to 38,400. And further, in the same way, if we stretch this Fibonacci level from the level of Bitcoin's long-term accumulation upwards and hitting these maximum values for Bitcoin, we reach the 0.382 level according to Fibonacci. Again to its lower part, but here you see there was a squeeze at some point down to minus $4,500, but the price quickly reversed, and I believe we outlined this level quite accurately here. Moreover, if you look at it before, it's all the same. Those who watch my video have already seen all of this. But new people come to the channel, they don't understand what's going on, what these levels are, and what these corrections are about. And here you can even see that after reaching this maximum upper zone, from here to the lower values for Bitcoin, after which we rolled down to the 0.382 level and even lower. And then the same story happened again. We stretch it to the next maximum values here, where Bitcoin had reached up to the initially maximum values. Let's lower it a bit like this, even to the next values. And we fell, you understood, where to the 0.382 level, from where we measured the next correction and the next part of this reaccumulation. In short, why am I saying all this? Probably because you are already watching this video. Perhaps Bitcoin has already moved to this zone. Maybe we dipped below it, but my benchmarks are as follows for now. That is, before the further move upwards, approximately, according to this signal indicator, let me connect it. It's called Bitcoin Adept Cycles. And before Bitcoin's reversal and its move into this upper or unloading zone, we can do the same as before. That is, a correction to the level may occur or even squeeze lower, and then recovery will begin. Moreover, the recovery will be the same as we had before, on this certain signal support line of my signal indicator. Yes, such tautology. And for me, these are generally very good points to open, well, to look for an entry, to find an entry point for a long position. In no case, guys, is this a call to action. Suddenly, Bitcoin might crash down, yes, and you'll be cursing me. Do not open longs. And now let's connect my signal indicators and see what signals they are giving at the moment. 3-day chart, 2 strong signals up, weak signals down. This is, generally speaking, globally very good. On the daily chart, perhaps, we have more signals of what kind? I thought signals down. No, consolidation. But let's look at such local 4-hour, probably more signals, of course, should be down. Strong signals down, which were before this. So let's look at the golden grail indicator. And generally speaking, we had a sell signal from February 23rd, and we don't have a buy signal yet. But if we look at the golden grail, let's switch to the 3-day chart again. Maybe we have some signals. No, we don't have any signals on the 3-day chart at all. Because this is already an established time frame. Yes, globally you could say, let's look at the daily chart. On the daily chart, a sell signal appeared from February 23rd. As for the daily chart, well, let's also look at the Bitcoin Adept buy and sell, my main signal indicator, which in particular showed a sell signal on the daily chart from January 24th. February? Sorry. From January, probably there were some signals too, but for now the price is going down. I don't see a reversal yet. I will look for it on smaller time frames. With the help of these signal indicators, I strongly recommend, guys, to install all these indicators. This is absolutely free. And at the same time, you will participate in a $1,000 giveaway. This is done in the following way. There are certain lines in the video description. Go to the Adept for the 1,000 giveaway. This is for those who already have an account on the Bybit exchange. And by doing so, you can become my referral. It won't cost you a penny. But first of all, you will participate in the giveaway. In short, for those who are interested, click on this official Bybit link. This is the link to transition under the community partner. Here you enter my referral code 31329, write the reason I want to join the Adept and click send. You should already be logged into your account on the Bybit exchange on this page, and that's it. You become my referral and participate in the $1,000 giveaway, Maat, the stomach species and tech and days, which will be on my Telegram channel soon in a couple of days. And you will gain access to all my signal indicators, our private trading chats, and trading literature. So guys, either analyze the market yourself using various technical tools and indicators, or join our trading chats. Everything is ready for you, so to speak. Now let's talk about the scenario where things might not go as planned. I mean the long-awaited alt season that many are waiting for, that everyone is hoping for. A lot of information has already been read and watched on YouTube, in various social networks, on Twitter. And who is still left in this market? Because we had a prolonged, downward trend. First a bear market, then hitting the bottom, and everything was growing very sluggishly. But I'm not talking about Bitcoin. I'm talking about altcoins, which many want to profit from. But this is also understandable with Bitcoin. It seems that you can't make a lot of multiples because many people have small deposits. And what do they do with tiny deposits? They start taking more risks. That is, by buying such assets that can potentially give much more than Bitcoin can. But here, guys, the key word is potentially, can give. It's the same as when you have a small, modest deposit, then you try to trade futures with high leverage. And it ends, you all know how, well, okay, this video is a bit about something else. And now, guys, soon the summer season will arrive. Of course, it's only going to be spring now. Summer is just ahead. And it's the perfect scenario, meaning the perfect time for a major player to continue shaking us out of various assets. That is, he has been shaking us out for quite some time. But here we have the chart with Ethereum. Here, everything is more or less okay. Although, Bitcoin has grown much stronger than Ethereum. And Ethereum is performing with us, moving up and down. And not everyone can sit through it. These movements, these emotional, you could say, swings, since it's unlikely you entered right here. Even if you did enter at this point, then small movements, more or less, aren't particularly interesting to you, and time goes on, the market wears you out. And summer is such a perfect moment to divert your interest from the market. I'm talking about altcoins again. Guys, with Bitcoin, again, I'll repeat, everything is fine. Bitcoin, after some minor corrections, I assume, will go higher, but altcoins will likely continue to be shaken out by time and price. This is us now, talking about the scenario when everything goes off plan, contrary to our expectations, because many people are already anticipating alt season. You need to understand, when does everyone already know what will happen? For example, this spring it will definitely start alt season. Everyone has now bought altcoins, waiting for them to skyrocket, just like, for example, it happened with Ethereum in the last cycle. Here, Ethereum went up, and everyone thinks, aha, that's it. I'll buy the cheaper altcoins later. I can offload them at some point when Bitcoin reaches its peak values. Then most likely there will be a shift. At the end of the year, at the end of summer, or in the fall, and then my altcoins will shoot up again. I'll close them at the maximum price, exit the market with stable coins, wait for the bear market to start, wait for a year, and then look at the adept again. I'll buy Bitcoin and Ethereum at the cheapest prices and so on. And many are waiting for exactly this now, because everyone has become smart. Everyone knows the history. Everyone has watched bloggers. But at whose expense will this feast be? And the major player needs it to be at your expense. That is, at the collective expense. The entire feast was at the major player's expense. And that's why such a situation might occur. Now I will again connect my signal indicator, the one with cycles, on the 3-day chart. Look, Bitcoin might indeed go up as we generally expected, because there aren't that many people currently in Bitcoin who are ready to offload at some peak values. Most are now sitting in altcoins. So look, what will happen if Bitcoin indeed goes to its highs, say to 160, 180, or $200,000? At this point, it doesn't matter what its peak will be, and at that moment, altcoins will also come to life a bit. But you know that when Bitcoin makes such moves, altcoins also come to life. But when a correction happens with Bitcoin, altcoins fall, even lower than the level they had previously risen to. That is, one correction, altcoins fell lower, a second correction, altcoins fell even lower. This has happened to us many times before, you all. Remember this? And so, altcoins might grow a little, but in the case of a strong correction, specifically with Bitcoin going, it's down, for example, if Bitcoin goes up to its peak and then drops sharply, as you know, the faster Bitcoin rises, the quicker it can fall. The stronger the correction might be, and at this moment, there could be such a drop in altcoins that everyone might think that Bitcoin, at some point, reached its peak, the unloading point. That was the maximum, and now a bearish cycle has begun, which could last for several weeks. That's the kind of movement, and then many people who are still in altcoins will definitely exit as the information will spread that that's it, guys. The maximum cycle has legally arrived. The maximum value for Bitcoin. It reached where it reached, and it seems like altcoins at some point gave a little something. And everyone will think that this was the alt season. That has passed, and what's the point of holding for several years now? These are the ones that will just keep dropping and dropping, getting cheaper and cheaper. And guys, I'm telling you the scenario that could happen if it doesn't. We have no strong movements in altcoins, and the main alt season, the classic one we are waiting for, in the near future. And then, during the next correction in Bitcoin, a lot of people will exit altcoins because they won't be able to withstand the drawdown. But if, guys, there is a similar story as I described, with a sharp movement up and a sharp movement down, then most likely it will be a test trial or a fake move, because the unloading of Bitcoin is likely to be prolonged, and it could consist of several such movements, meaning the saw could be quite long. For example, since the price of Bitcoin could already be high here, this is again in the case if we reach this price around $180,000 or 160, and to unload here at such maximally high prices, time will be needed, and eventually they will not only unload into stable coins, and I have already mentioned this in previous videos, but also into altcoins and then the alt season will begin. So looking far ahead, yes, such a scenario could be a reversal, a quick move upwards, and with one candle we go up, then go back down again. That is showing that it seems like we've reached the maximum values, the bull market is over, it's time to exit. For example, altcoins, which at this moment will drop significantly in price. They will drop, I assure you, more than they are at these current values. And this scenario needs to be kept in mind. Also in mind, as we have already gone through this. Right here, when there was a strong correction in Bitcoin, when altcoins seemed to go up and seemed to do well. But during this correction, Bitcoin had a correction of minus 31% and altcoins were hit very hard, guys. And everyone said, well, to hell with them. Many people exited at minimal prices, you could say, on altcoins. At this point, altcoins were still worth very little. This was already at maximum values when they were ending, when the unloading was finishing. That's when the alt season began and the main altcoins soared upwards. Well, here on such large dips, altcoins were rolling down very hard. And it was the same in the cycle before last. On these corrections, when we were already at maximum values for Bitcoin, right here, when there was also a downward movement, it seems like these movements are small on the chart, but let's look at it in percentage terms. It's also minus 30%. Altcoins were dropping much more significantly, even here, when we reached the maximum values at the end of 2017. And then, sharply, went down. Right here, down by 45%. This candle, many altcoins also rolled down heavily. And only after this candle did the altcoin season begin, which lasted a couple of weeks. And yes, then everything went down like a trap. You could say a big player might set this up for the cunning ones, nah, but in general, he set it up in all the previous cycles. We just tend to forget about it. And that's all. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you want to hear my thoughts on the price of Bitcoin and altcoin, and also join me on the Bybit exchange. That is, become my referral to gain access to our private trading chats where traders are. Participants share their trades that they make on the exchange to all my signal indicators. There are about 8 of them. A large amount of literature on trading, and participate in a $1,000 giveaway. I think at this stage of the market, they won't hurt to average down your altcoins. Thank you to everyone who watched this video to the end. Goodbye, everyone.